All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am V. Ravi Kumar and with me is Sunil Verma. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stones of several development projects worth over 21,000 crore rupees in Gujarat today. To also unveil redeveloped temple of Sri Kalika Mata at Pavagadh Hill. Pragati Maidan Integrated Transit Corridor project in Delhi to be dedicated to the nation by Prime Minister tomorrow. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds bilateral talks with his counterparts from Malaysia, Indonesia and Vietnam. Inks key pacts. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu calls upon people to protect the nation's unity, sovereignty and integrity. Says there is no place for violence in a democracy. Navy Chief Admiral R. Hari Kumar terms Agnipath as Made in India and Made for India scheme, providing opportunity to serve the nation. National Yuva Kendra Sangathan to mobilize youth at grassroots level to highlight salient features of the new transformational Agnipath scheme. Retired Supreme Court Judge Ranjana Prakash Desai becomes first woman chairperson of Press Council of India. Global financial watchdog FATF retains Pakistan on its grey list for terror funding and money laundering. In cricket, India beat South Africa by 82 runs in the 4th T20 International at Rajkot to level the 5-match series 2-all. And in badminton, India's HS Pranoy storms into semi-finals of the Indonesia Open. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in Gujarat Gaurav Abhiyan program at Vadodara in Gujarat today. On the occasion, the Prime Minister will inaugurate and lay the foundation stones of several development projects worth over 21,000 crore rupees. Mr. Modi will also inaugurate the redeveloped temple of Sri Kalika Mata at Pavagadh Hill in Panchmahal district this morning. It is one of the oldest temples in the region and attracts pilgrims in large numbers. On the occasion, Mr. Modi is scheduled to perform a puja at the temple before hoisting dhwaja at full mast atop the shrine after decades. Our Ahmedabad correspondent reports that the dhwaja has not been hoisted for years as the top of the temple was broken. Now it has been completely renovated. The sanctum sanctorum of this grand Mahakali temple is made of gold. The Prime Minister arrived at Ahmedabad airport on a 2-day visit to Gujarat last evening. Governor Acharya Devavrat, Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, along with senior ministers and top officials received Prime Minister Modi at the airport. More from our correspondent.
After the inauguration of historic Sri Kalika Mata temple at Pavagadh, the Prime Minister will dedicate and lay the foundation stone of various projects worth over 21,000 crore rupees in Vadodara. These include dedication to the nation of 357 km long New Palanpur Madar section of dedicated freight corridor, gauge conversion of 166 km long Ahmedabad Botas section, and electrification of 81 km long Palanpur Mitha section. He will also lay the foundation stone of redevelopment of Surat, Udna, Somnath and Sabarmati stations. These projects will help to lower logistic cost and boost industry and agriculture sector in the region. Mr. Modi will also lay the foundation stone of Gujarat Central University in Kundela village of Dabhoi Taluka near Vadodara. He will launch Mukhyamantri Matru Shakti Yojana, which aims to improving maternal and child health. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi met his mother Hiraba Modi at Raisan village in Gandhinagar early this morning on her birthday. Mr. Modi sought the blessings of his mother on the occasion. Prime Minister Modi's mother enters the 100th year of her life today. Hiraben lives with her younger son at Raisan village on the outskirts of Gandhinagar. She was born on 18th June 1923.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will dedicate to the nation the main tunnel and 5 underpasses of Pragati Maidan Integrated Transit Corridor project in Delhi at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. The Prime Minister will also address the gathering on the occasion. The Integrated Transit Corridor project is an integral part of Pragati Maidan redevelopment project. The project has been built at a cost of more than 920 crore rupees. It is aimed to provide hassle-free and smooth access to the new world-class exhibition and convention centre being developed at Pragati Maidan. This project will ensure hassle-free vehicular movement, thereby saving time and money of commuters. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that people have every right to protest, but there is no place for violence in a democracy. He said damaging public property would be harming the nation's interests. Mr. Naidu called upon people to shun extremist tendencies. Interacting with a group of students from Jawaharlal Nehru University's JNU yesterday at Uprashtrapati Niwas, Mr. Naidu called upon the people to protect the nation's unity, sovereignty and integrity. He said hatred and intolerance are not part of Indian culture. The Vice President reiterated that India is the largest thriving parliamentary democracy and follows the principle of Sarva Dharma Sambhava. He said that the colonial rulers tried to create an inferiority complex among Indians. He urged students to take pride in India's glorious civilization.
Navy Chief Admiral R. Hari Kumar has said the Agnipath scheme is a transformational scheme. He said it is a made in India and a made for India scheme. Appealing to the protesters to remain peaceful, Navy Chief said they should read and understand the Agnipath scheme as this is an opportunity to serve the nation.
I want to tell them that do not protest, do not be violent, understand the scheme, remain peaceful, read and understand the scheme, find out more about it. This is an opportunity for you to serve for shorter durations, and those of you who are good enough or who want to pursue career further, if you are in merit, you can continue in service. There are many people even today who do not want to serve long, but they don't have an option of leaving because you have signed for 15 years or minimum or for 20 years. So therefore, this is a great opportunity for the youth to serve the country and as well as make themselves better.
He said it is a scheme of which he was a part of the initial planning team and worked on it for almost a year and a half. He said now the scheme is coming to its completion and introduction into the armed forces. Calling it the single biggest human resources management transformation in Indian military, Admiral Hari Kumar said protests are happening due to misinformation and misunderstanding of the scheme. Union Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has appealed to the youth of the country who are protesting over Agnipath scheme not to indulge in violent protests and not damage the property of the railways. He said railways are the property of the country and in national service. Mr. Vaishnav said that the union government is considering their points with sensitivity.
रेलवे आपकी संपत्ति है, रेलवे राष्ट्र की संपत्ति है, इसको किसी भी तरह का नुकसान ना पहुंचाए। आपकी बात सरकार संवेदनशीलता के साथ सुन रही है और किसी भी मुद्दे पे डिस्कशन करना उचित रहता है। इस तरह से रेलवे की संपत्ति को कोई नुकसान ना पहुंचाए, ऐसा मेरा सबसे निवेदन है।
Youth Affairs and Sports Ministry has said that National Yuva Kendra Sangathan NYKS will reach out to the youth across the country in a mission mode to highlight the salient features of the new transformative reform Agnipath scheme and to popularize it among the youth. In this regard, a virtual meeting was held by the Secretary of Youth Affairs and Sports Ministry, Sanjay Kumar, with the regional state directors of NYKS yesterday to take necessary steps for outreach of the scheme. Mr. Sanjay emphasized that NYKS, besides its field officials, will rope in all the grassroots level youth belonging to the youth clubs and all other stakeholders to disseminate information about the Agnipath scheme. He further said that NYKS will also amplify the message among the youth between the age group of 17 and a half years and 21 years potential applicants. The grassroots machinery of NYKS has been asked to mobilize maximum youth volunteers to facilitate this outreach program. Bihar government has suspended internet services in 15 districts till tomorrow to maintain the law and order situation in the state. According to the order issued by the State Home Department, internet services will remain temporarily suspended in Kaimur, Bhojpur, Aurangabad, Rohtas, Buxar, Nawada, West Champaran, Samastipur, Lakhisarai, Begusarai, Vaishali, Saran, Muzaffarpur, East Champaran and Darbhanga districts till 19th of June.
News Justin, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assured all help to Assam government to tackle the flood situation in the state. Mr. Modi spoke to Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma this morning and expressed concern over the hardships being faced by the people of the state due to this natural calamity. Meanwhile, the flood situation continues to be grim in Assam as surging water inundated new areas. 7 persons lost their lives in various rain-related incidents during the last 24 hours. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a series of bilateral engagements with his counterparts from Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei, Thailand and Singapore on the sidelines of the special ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting. The External Affairs Ministry said during the 7th India-Indonesia Joint Commission meeting yesterday, Dr. S. Jaishankar and his Indonesian counterpart Ratno Marsudi reviewed the bilateral relations and discussed way ahead for further strengthening the India-Indonesia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. The ministers signed the agreement on exemption from visa requirement for holders of diplomatic and official or service passports. They also witnessed the exchange of MOU between the Narcotics Control Bureau of India and the National Narcotics Board of Indonesia on combating illicit trafficking of narcotic drugs. Both ministers exchanged views on international and regional issues, including Indo-Pacific. Dr. Jaishankar expressed solidarity with Indonesia for its chairmanship of the G20 and supported its priorities. The External Affairs Minister also met the Foreign Minister of Malaysia, Dato Sri Saifuddin Abdullah, and witnessed the exchange of notes for mutual recognition of COVID-19 vaccination certificates. Both ministers emphasized on economic and trade ties in sectors like palm oil and hydrocarbons. They agreed to hold the next Joint Commission meeting in Malaysia. Dr. S. Jaishankar and the Foreign Minister of Vietnam, Bui Thanh Son, also held a bilateral meeting yesterday. Both the ministers launched the logo for the celebration of 50 years of diplomatic relations between India and Vietnam. The ministers discussed a wide range of bilateral issues. An MOU on cyber security between CERT in Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and VNCERT, Ministry of Information and Communications, Vietnam, was exchanged. On the 15th of this month, Dr. Jaishankar met Singapore Foreign Minister Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan. Both of the ministers discussed various aspects of the multifaceted relations between the two countries, including areas such as trade and investment, digital economy and fintech, green growth and development and connectivity. They also held a wide-range conversation on global geopolitical challenges and developments in the region.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said there is a strong possibility of the electoral process starting in Jammu and Kashmir by the end of this year. Mr. Singh was speaking at a function in Jammu yesterday to mark 200 years of the coronation of Maharaja Gulab Singh. The Defence Minister said Jammu and Kashmir has been fully integrated with the rest of the country and set on the path of renewed growth and development post-abrogation of Article 370.
यहाँ की विधानसभा का स्वरूप थोड़ा बदलने जा रहा है। अब तक 83 विधानसभाओं में जम्मू क्षेत्र के 37 और कश्मीर से 46 सीटें हुआ करती थी। अब इसमें बदलाव आया है कि कुल 90 सीट्स में से 43 जम्मू और 47 सीटें कश्मीर में होंगी। मुझे लगता है इस साल के अंत तक हो सकता है कि चुनावी प्रक्रिया भी प्रारंभ हो, जिसकी प्रबल संभावना है।
Global financial watchdog, the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, has said that Pakistan will continue to stay on its grey list and a final decision to remove it from the list will be taken after an on-site verification visit by the Paris-based body. This decision was announced yesterday after the conclusion of the 4-day FATF plenary in Berlin, where delegates from governments around the world and partner organizations including the UN and IMF discussed key money laundering and terrorist financing issues. The FATF in a statement said, at its June 2022 plenary, the Global Financial Watchdog made the initial determination that Pakistan has substantially completed its 2 action plans covering 34 items and warrants an on-site visit to verify that the implementation of Pakistan's anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing reforms have begun and are being sustained, and that the necessary political commitment remains in place to sustain implementation and improvement in the future.
Retired Judge of the Supreme Court, Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai, has been appointed as the Chairperson of the Press Council of India. Justice Desai is the First Lady Chairperson of the Council. Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai has recently headed the Delimitation Commission on Jammu and Kashmir, which was set up to redraw the assembly constituencies of the Union Territory.
All India Radio News has launched a weekly interactive program, Abhyas, for competitive examinations. It is aimed at reaching out to students and job seekers preparing for competitive examinations. The program is in Hindi and is broadcast every Saturday between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Every week a subject is chosen. Students can ask questions through WhatsApp or email, and a guest speaker or expert responds to their queries. Questions on each subject are selected on the basis of crowdsourcing from students across the country. The program also includes segments like Explainer, Fact File, Examination Calendar, and Question of the Week. The 12th episode of the program will be aired today. The topic for this episode is Indian Society. All India Radio News has got an overwhelming response for the show, with questions received from across the country. Dr. Neeta Mathur, Professor, School of Social Sciences, Indira Gandhi National Open University IGNOU, will be responding to the queries of the aspirants. This episode of Abhyas will be on air on 100.1 FM Gold at 9:30 p.m. today. You can access it on Twitter at AIR News Alerts or on AIR News official YouTube channel and also on News on AIR app. Also, the next episode on 25th of June, the subject chosen is internal security. Students can send their queries on WhatsApp number 928-909-4044 or mail on abhyas.air@gmail.com. The deadline for submission of questions is 22nd of June. So join us at All India Radio News for Abhyas every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. on 100.1 FM Gold. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stones of several development projects worth over 21,000 crore rupees in Gujarat today. To also unveil redeveloped temple of Sri Kalika Mata at Pavagadh Hill. Pragati Maidan Integrated Transit Corridor project in Delhi to be dedicated to the nation by Prime Minister tomorrow. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds bilateral talks with his counterparts from Malaysia, Indonesia and Vietnam. Inks key pacts. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu calls upon people to protect the nation's unity, sovereignty and integrity. Says there is no place for violence in a democracy. Navy Chief Admiral R. Hari Kumar terms Agnipath as Made in India and Made for India scheme, providing opportunity to serve the nation. National Yuva Kendra Sangathan to mobilize youth at grassroots level to highlight salient features of new transformational Agnipath scheme. Retired Supreme Court Judge Ranjana Prakash Desai becomes first women chairperson of Press Council of India. Global financial watchdog FATF retains Pakistan on its grey list for terror funding and money laundering. In cricket, India beat South Africa by 82 runs in 4th T20 International at Rajkot to level 5-match series 2-2. And in badminton, India's H.S. Pranoy storms into semi-finals of Indonesia Open. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग। आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता। बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर 8700014242।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead the International Day of Yoga celebrations from Mysuru Palace Ground on the 21st of this month. Informing this, Union Minister for Ayush, Dr. Sarbananda Sonowal said the theme of this year's International Day of Yoga across the globe is Yoga for Humanity, as announced by the Prime Minister Modi in his Mann Ki Baat address.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who led the inception of the International Day of Yoga, which has become an iconic occasion across the world, will join 15,000 people on the Mysuru Palace ground. The theme for this year's International Day of Yoga celebration is Yoga for Humanity.
And now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember the legendary freedom fighter, Rani of Jhansi, Lakshmibai, who was martyred on 18th of June 1858. Her stories of valor and resistance against the British still continue to fill everyone's heart with immense pride and gratitude.
मैं लक्ष्मीबाई हूँ, झांसी की रानी। झांसी को अंग्रेजों के हाथों में नहीं जाने दूंगी।
Rani Lakshmibai was born as Manikarnika Tambe on the 16th of November 1835. Her father shifted to Bithur, where she grew up and came in close contact with Nana Sahib, Tantya Tope and Rao Sahib. She was affectionately called Manu by her parents and Chabili by the Peshwa. Lakshmibai received traditional education and welding of small arms. Beautiful, intelligent, energetic and courageous. She was married to Maharaja Gangadhar Rao of Jhansi in 1842.
A magnetic personality, Lakshmibai was endowed with high administrative caliber. Her only male child died in infancy, and her husband passed away on 21st of November 1853, nominating Lakshmibai as regent of his adopted son Damodar Rao. But she was not permitted by the British authorities to adopt a successor. Her territory was annexed under the Dalhousie's Doctrine of Lapse on 27th of February 1854.
Rani Lakshmibai's appeals to the British went in vain. When the First War of Independence started in 1857, Rani Lakshmibai was drawn into it and became the sole authority in her region. After the massacre of the British at Jokhanbagh by the Sepoys on the 8th of June 1857 and their departure for Delhi, the Rani assumed the reins of government and successfully met the challenges posed to her.
On being attacked by British General Hugh Rose on 20th of March 1858, she heroically defended Jhansi for 2 weeks and eventually escaped to Kalpi on horseback along with her son. Later she joined Tantya Tope and Rao Sahib, but their combined forces were defeated by the British. Lakshmibai then reached Gwalior and surprised the British by capturing Gwalior.
When Sir Hugh Rose renewed the British attack on the Gwalior fort, the Rani fought to the finish, swords in both the hands and the reins of the horse in her mouth. She died a glorious death in the thick of the battle on 18th of June, 1858.
All India Radio News salutes the valor and love for the motherland of legend of Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai.
On the 18th of June 1946, freedom fighter Ram Manohar Lohia lit the torch of the last phase of the freedom movement against the Portuguese in Goa. Lohia openly defied the government orders against holding a public meeting at Madgaon and rebuked Captain Fortunato Miranda, the administrator of the district. While initiating the civil disobedience movement in Goa, Lohia wrote an open letter to the Goans. He made it clear that the aim of the movement was to win civil liberties, but that the methods to be followed were those of mass awakening.
Lohia invoked the Indians to help the Goan brethren in their fight for liberties. The Congress Working Committee at Wardha passed a resolution and to support the Goans in their struggle for the restoration of civil liberties. But the Portuguese rulers, without realizing the signs of the time, called the civil disobedience movement as Movimento Darwa, meaning roadside agitation. However, this agitation spread across the state. Goa, Daman and Diu were liberated in 1956 after 451 years of Portuguese subjugation, thereby wiping off the last colonial vestige from the Indian soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with the listeners on Monday, 20th of June.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the historic torch relay for the 44th Chess Olympiad on the 19th of June at 5 p.m. at Indira Gandhi Stadium in New Delhi. The 44th Chess Olympiad will be held in Chennai from the 28th of July to the 10th of August this year. In cricket, India defeated South Africa by 82 runs in the 4th T20 International at the Saurashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Rajkot last night to level the 5-match series 2-2. Put into bat, India posted 169 for 6 in the stipulated 20 overs, riding on Dinesh Karthik's 55 runs off 27 balls and Hardik Pandya's 46 off 31 balls.
In badminton, India's HS Pranoy sailed into the semi-finals of the Indonesia Open Super Tournament with a straight game win over Rasmus Gemge of Denmark. Pranoy defeated Danish world number 13 Gemge 21-14, 21-12 in a 40-minute quarter-final clash in Jakarta yesterday. World number 23 HS Pranoy will face China's Zhao Junpeng in the semi-final today. Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 21 and the maximum will be 36 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with intermittent rain. Chennai will have thunderstorm with rain. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Srinagar and Jammu will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Leh and Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Visakhapatnam, Bengaluru, Hyderabad and Thiruvananthapuram will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Guwahati will have a generally cloudy sky with continuous rain. Imphal will have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Agartala will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Gangtok will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. India drives landmark WTO deal on subsidies. Backs Weber, writes Hindustan Times. The Hindu business line reports that experts are divided. Some say India gave away too much. Others call it a good deal. The Asian Age says Agnipath protests escalate, spread to south, other parts. Over 200 trains hit. The Times of India says as protests claim 2 lives, Rajnath and military chiefs say job drive will start in a few days. The Indian Express reports that the defense minister is saying that there is strong possibility of J&K polls by the end of this year. Business Standard writes bank credit growth hits 3-year high of 13.1%. Under the headline tariff hike effect, 7.5 million cell phone users disconnect in May. The Hindu business line reports that active mobile base has dipped for the first time in 10 months, and telecom companies have indicated that more tariff hikes are likely. The Pioneer reports that the government has okayed linking of Aadhaar with voter ID to curb many enrollments. And finally, the government is looking to spruce up the world's largest postal distribution with a slew of new age offerings. The Economic Times reports India Post Bank may offer services via WhatsApp.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stones of several development projects worth over 21,000 crore rupees in Gujarat today. To also unveil redeveloped temple of Sri Kalika Mata at Pavagad Hill. Pragati Maidan Integrated Transit Corridor project in Delhi to be dedicated to the nation by Prime Minister tomorrow. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds bilateral talks with his counterparts from Malaysia, Indonesia and Vietnam. Inks key pacts. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu calls upon people to protect the nation's unity, sovereignty and integrity. says there is no place for violence in a democracy. Navy Chief Admiral R. Hari Kumar terms Agnipath as Made in India and Made for India scheme, providing opportunity to serve the nation. National Yuva Kendra Sangathan to mobilize youth at grassroots level to highlight salient features of new transformational Agnipath scheme. Retired Supreme Court Judge Ranjana Prakash Desai becomes first woman chairperson of Press Council of India, and in badminton, India's Atis Pranoy storms into semi-finals of Indonesia Open.